Picture this. The year is 1162, in a world divided by warring tribes and vast empires. This was an era where the strong exploited the weak, where chaos ruled, and survival was the order of the day. The Eurasian landmass, stretching from the coasts of Europe to the shores of the Pacific, was a patchwork of diverse cultures and civilizations. In the east, the Song dynasty in China was experiencing a period of prosperity and cultural enlightenment. To the west, the Byzantine Empire was struggling to maintain its influence as it grappled with internal conflicts and external threats. In between, the Islamic caliphates, Central Asian khanates, and the fledgling kingdoms of Europe were locked in a constant struggle for power. Amidst this geopolitical turmoil, the steppes of Mongolia were home to a confederation of nomadic tribes. These tribes, known for their horse-riding skills and warrior ethos, were often at odds with each other. A harsh and unforgiving land, the Mongolian steppes molded its people into hardened survivors, skilled in the arts of warfare. These tribes lived by a code, the Yasa, which emphasized courage, loyalty, and respect for authority. It was a society where leaders were chosen not by birthright, but by their ability to lead and their prowess in battle. A society where a man's worth was measured by his skill with a bow, his ability to ride, and his courage in the face of danger. Yet, it was a time of great disparity. The rich tribal leaders lived in relative luxury, while the poor struggled to survive. It was a world where power was held by the few, and the many lived at their mercy. But in this unforgiving world, a new force was about to rise. A man born into poverty who would rise above his humble beginnings to unite these warring tribes and forge one of the greatest empires the world has ever seen. In this tumultuous world, a fearless leader was about to emerge, a man who would change the course of history. Born into a modest clan, young Temujin, who would later be known as Genghis Khan, was far from royalty. In the harsh and unforgiving Mongolian steppes, life was a constant struggle. Temujin was born into a world where power was everything, yet he had none. His father Yesuke was a minor chieftain, and his mother Hoelun, a resilient woman who would later instill in him the virtues of strength and survival. When Temujin was barely 9, tragedy struck. His father was poisoned by rival Tatars, and the young boy was thrust into a life of hardship. His tribe abandoned him, his mother, and his siblings, leaving them to fend for themselves in the brutal wilderness. These were years of hunger, cold, and danger. But young Temujin, with his mother's guidance, learned to persevere. He became a survivor, a fighter. He learned the harsh laws of the steppes, where only the strongest could survive. These early experiences would shape the future Khan, forging a hardened leader and a relentless warrior. From hardship emerged a leader, one who would unite the Mongol tribes under a single banner. This leader was none other than Genghis Khan, a name that would resonate through the annals of history. Born as Temujin, Genghis Khan's early life was marked by struggle. His father's untimely death left him in charge of his family at a tender age. Despite the challenges, he turned adversity into strength, honing his leadership skills and forging alliances. As he grew older, his ambition grew as well. He sought to unite the fragmented Mongol tribes under one rule, his rule. In the year 1185, Temujin began his journey to power. He cultivated strategic alliances, marrying his daughters to the sons of potential rivals and adopting the children of defeated enemies. His approach was as much about diplomacy as it was about force. He was a shrewd politician, manipulating the rivalries among other Mongol leaders to his advantage. By 1206, Temujin had consolidated his power. In a grand Kurultai, a traditional Mongolian council, he was declared Genghis Khan, the universal ruler. His unification of the Mongol tribes was a revolutionary act. For the first time in history, the Mongols stood as a united front, under a single banner and a single leader. But Genghis Khan didn't stop at unification. He set about creating an empire, the Mongol Empire. He established a code of laws known as Yasa, enforced a unique communication system, and promoted trade. His empire was not only about power and conquest, but also about administration and governance. Genghis Khan's rise to power was a remarkable feat. He turned a group of nomadic tribes into one of the most powerful forces in history. His leadership was marked by innovation, strategic thinking, and an unrelenting will to succeed. With the Mongol Empire established, Genghis Khan poised himself for conquest. His story, however, doesn't end here. It's only the beginning of an era of conquests, an era that would forever change the face of the world. Under Genghis Khan's rule, the Mongol Empire soon expanded its reach, creating the largest contiguous land empire in history. Genghis Khan was no ordinary leader. He was a military genius, a political reformer, and a catalyst for cultural exchange. His military campaigns were not just about conquest, but also about establishing a new world order. Let's dive into some of his significant military campaigns. The invasion of Western Xia, the conquest of the Khwarezmian Empire, and the incursions into Eastern Europe were all testament to his strategic brilliance and tenacity. His victories were not just about superior firepower or sheer numbers. They were about innovative tactics, effective communication, and the efficient use of resources. Beyond the battlefield, Genghis Khan's political reforms were equally groundbreaking. He implemented a code of law known as Yasa, which promoted social order and justice. He established a merit-based system, breaking away from the traditional aristocratic hierarchy. This not only increased the efficiency of his administration, but also fostered a sense of loyalty and unity among his subjects. Genghis Khan also made significant cultural contributions. He encouraged the exchange of ideas and knowledge throughout his empire, fostering a rich and diverse cultural milieu. His rule saw advancements in technology, art, and literature, as well as the development of a postal system known as the Yam, which facilitated communication across vast distances. But perhaps his greatest achievement was his ability to unite disparate tribes under one banner. The Mongol Empire, at its zenith, stretched from Eastern Europe to the Sea of Japan, covering approximately 24 million square kilometers. This was an empire that was built not just on conquest, but on a vision of unity and progress. Genghis Khan's reign was a force that reshaped the world, leaving an indelible mark on history. His achievements are not just milestones in the annals of the Mongol Empire, but pivotal moments that have shaped the course of world history. Genghis Khan's death in 1227 did not spell the end of the Mongol Empire, far from it. In fact, it was just the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with the remarkable exploits of his descendants, the Great Khans. His third son, Ogedei, succeeded him and continued his father's expansionist policies, stretching the borders of the Mongol Empire from the Caspian Sea to the eastern shores of China. Ogedei was a master administrator, establishing a structured government and implementing a system of taxation that ensured the empire's wealth and prosperity. Then came Kublai Khan, Genghis Khan's grandson, who not only sustained the vastness of the empire, but also fostered a cultural and intellectual renaissance. Under Kublai Khan, the Mongol Empire became a hub of cultural exchange, bringing together the East and the West in an unprecedented manner. He established the Yuan dynasty in China, fostering advancements in science, literature, and art. But the legacy of the great Khans was not just about territorial expansion or cultural exchange. It was also about the establishment of a unique system of governance that respected diversity and promoted meritocracy. They instituted laws that protected the common people, promoted trade, and encouraged religious freedom. Their rule was marked by a surprising degree of tolerance and cultural pluralism, a testament to their forward-thinking governance. Every great Khan, in their own unique way, contributed to the perpetuation and enhancement of Genghis Khan's vision. They built upon his foundation, creating an empire that, at its zenith, spanned across Europe, Asia, and Africa, influencing countless societies, cultures, and civilizations. The echoes of Genghis Khan and his descendants can still be heard, resonating through the annals of world history. Their legacy, a potent blend of military might, administrative acumen, and cultural openness, continues to shape our understanding of the past and provides a fascinating lens to view the present. The story of Genghis Khan is not just a tale of conquest and empire, but a lesson of resilience, leadership, and cultural exchange. His legacy has echoed through the centuries, shaping world history, geopolitics, and cultural identities. His innovative military strategies revolutionized warfare, while his policies of religious tolerance and meritocracy left a lasting imprint on the societies he conquered. Genghis Khan's empire laid the foundations for the world's first long-distance postal system, fostered trade along the Silk Road, and facilitated a cultural exchange that would forever change the face of Eurasia. His descendants, the great Khans, further expanded and governed the Mongol Empire, continuing his legacy of transformative leadership. In reflecting on Genghis Khan's influence, we realize that his story is not confined to the pages of history books. His impact resonates in our modern world, in the way we communicate, trade, and interact across different cultures. Genghis Khan, a name etched in history, a legacy unbroken, a story of a man who shaped the world as we know it today.